Hello, my Libra Risings, my sexy animals. How are you guys doing today? Today's video is going to be your career for 2026 ahead for my Libra Risings. So if you're a Libra Rising and this is your first time being here, welcome. Welcome to the Moon Gang. And if you're a returner or an OG, welcome back. Welcome back. It is good to see your very pretty, beautiful Libra Rising face. I'm not even kidding though. Every single Libra Rising that I know just has that little bit of it factor. You know what I mean? So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into the video breakdown today. So feel free to skip to a certain transit, stay for the whole buffet. And basically part one's going to be, I have 9 transits for you guys. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly, at least that's my goal, just because all of these really work together for a bigger picture, and there's 9 of them, but I could not leave a single one out. It's really gonna depend whether you're an entrepreneur or you work from home, or you're in the between jobs, or you got side hustles. I really try to incorporate so many different transits for so many different types of careers. And then I did just want to say too, if you're looking to retire, you're looking for you don't want to work anymore, still watch the video, because the legacy does have so much to do, more so than just career. But if you did pick on this, hoping that you would find out if things in your work life are going to change, I would stay as well. Then part 2 is going to be the astro dice. My intention for these is to roll them and get another specific message, as well as the main signs to look for in terms of people related to your career. So that's going to be the astro dice, and then we're going to finish off the video with, last but not least, today's little intuitive message. We're going to be using this deck. I love this deck. It is the Goddess Power Oracle deck. So we're going to pull a goddess from here, and it's just going to have a message of overall my specific group, the group on this video. Yeah, my Moon Gang. Because there's so much nuance in birth charts, different rulers, different degrees, different aspects, stuff like that, I like to throw in probability. I like to throw in chance. I need to do statistics versus astrology study 101, because I actually would like to see the kind of how it helps aid in accuracy. Now that we have broken down the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for clicking. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are seeing this part, you want to comment a flamingo emoji. The flamingos and the peacocks always remind me of Libra Risings, because they're like some of the prettiest birds, right? So yeah, and feel free to subscribe. It is completely free. Also, if you subscribe, and you'll get notified too if you press the bell button on the other people in your live's career. So if you want to look for someone in your family or a partner, something like that, you can go ahead and click the notification bell, and you'll see theirs posted. So far, it's just Scorpio and you guys Libra. We're also approaching the end of the astrological year, so I'm going to still be putting out 2026 videos, because I feel like we're still in the astrological end of the year until the astrological new year, around March 20th. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get started. So transit number 1 that I picked out for you guys, I am doing this in chronological order, and if there's a date that I say that you're like, oh shoot, I missed that, I wish these were all written down somewhere, I got you. Check my website. There's a 6-month free digital calendar that I made for you guys, and then there's a full year one that you can pay for a really affordable price, and it's going to give you every single transit that I'm talking about. That's major, less so the minor asteroids. That's just for you guys today, but there are all the major transits, eclipses, full new moons. That is downloadable there. So the first one is February 4th, and this is going to be Uranus. I was gonna make a joke, but I mean, you guys, I was gonna say not my Onish, but Uranus. Okay. So my Libra risings, I a different part of me comes out with y'all. I have a Libra Mars, so even tuning into the energy, I'm like, We need to minimize the buffoonery so I can deliver some valuable information to you guys. First one, Uranus moves direct in Taurus. This is huge for you guys, Libra Venus, or Libra rising, because you guys are ruled by Venus. Your captain of your chart, the person who's steering your ship, when we lean into the captain of our chart, the entire ship moves full speed ahead. So since you guys are ruled by Venus, then Uranus now settling down forward to finish out this Taurus energy for the last 8 years is going to be spectacular for you guys. When we have Uranus, and we're talking about Uranus transits, we're talking about an analogy that I use, which is your phone being upgraded or your device being upgraded overnight, and then you wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, I did not ask for this upgrade yet. Everything is different. Now I gotta adjust. But it's something too where with Uranus transits, you never know truly what you're gonna get. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. If you know the reference. And it's very true with Uranus transits. It is very much like, all right, all the things that I said, like never say never, right? All that tends to happen. It tends to really shock us what happens in the area of life with Uranus. And that has been in your guys' 8th house and your guys' 2nd house access. So I'm choosing the money houses, the career houses, a lot of those houses, right? Like work houses for the transits. And the 8th house is actually extremely important when it comes to our career, because this is working smarter, not harder. This is also like what we're investing our time into, the people, the resources, you know what I'm talking about. That got a really big shakeup too, right? And Uranus was leaning us into more powerful positions, right? And so now at this point, like for example, there could have been many different ways in which you made money this year. You could have made money very unconventionally. Not only this year, but the last 8 years. I would pay attention, 2018, it switched. So, obviously the pandemic switched up a lot of things for a lot of people, but I would even go to say that even after the pandemic and before the pandemic, there was like a want to make money unconventionally, or that was just the path that we were being led towards, because one of our assets was with the 2nd house and 8th house, the unconventionality in our life that was leading us towards more stability and working smarter, right? And when we have 8th house Taurus, we usually see people that are able to utilize their resources a lot. They're really good at that. So a person, or you sign up for the military, or you really work your inheritance, you really buy at dips, you know how to invest in stocks. It's just knowing when to invest, right? Now, with Uranus finishing up here, this is going to be after a lot of a topsy-turvy ride, right? And a lot of the transits are very neutral, but if we were to do shadow and light of these transits, Uranus in its light is very much like the external and the internal upgrading, and you'll never downgrade back. Like that is Uranus. Like it shocks us, it awakens us, and it expands our mind, and it expands our path, and things that we thought maybe couldn't have been possible, or even roads that we didn't know to look out for could have been illuminated for us. That's light. Shadow of Uranus, it can cause just a lot of chaos for the native, right? It could be just feeling very chaotic, feeling a little sporadic, like it's kind of hard to get control. With finances, with like our next move, right? Like Scorpio rules over Mars, right? And so Mars in Scorpio is very much going after what we desire despite all odds. Mars destroys all obstacles in its face, right? So when we have Uranus moving through the 8th house, we have now this stability in our life that is now crystallizing, right? The upgrade is almost completely done. So things can be changing a little bit, but they're getting sorted so that we get more stability. And when it goes direct, February 4th, we'll already feel a little bit more like life is opening up, like the doors are opening back up for us, and we're gonna go down the one with the upgraded path for our highest amount of stability. So this is going to be pertaining to money, who and what we're investing our time into, right? Because a lot of our success and our job and stuff like that really also depends on who's backing us, right? Or like who's dragging us down, or like who's lifting us up, right? So this is like a really big stability that is going to be finalized and closed out, and that cycle will end when Uranus enters Gemini, which I am going to talk about a little bit later. So this is going to be awesome. And and as Uranus is wrapping up in Taurus, I feel like our money, right, could really be getting solidified. We're just ending a cycle in general of just unpredictability with our money, unpredictability with like who's in our life, like what we're investing into. And that's really, really going to be solidified from February 4th all the way until April 26th. So the last little dominoes are going to fall, right? So any unexpected like outside events, like new offers or, reorganizing what we're investing into or something like that. It's reminding me of like we're finally paying out our crypto from like holding really strong, like something unexpected is like, oh my gosh, it skyrocketed, let's pull out, right? And maybe we weren't expecting to, but there's going to be some energy like that, right? Where we're going to make some final calls, or there's going to be some knocks on our door like, hey, the upgrade's done, let's claim our rewards, right? So that is the first transit. Then the second transit's going to be Saturn entering Aries. So Saturn's entering Aries around Valentine's Day. This is huge because you guys as Libra Risings have Pisces in your 6th house. So your productivity, your relationship with the grind, your relationship with burnout, your relationship with overall wellness, your work ethic, the jobs that we do, being of service to the other people in our life, taking care of ourselves, showing up for work, our own daily life, all of that, right, we have in the sign of Pisces. And Neptune and Saturn have been moving through here, right? Neptune just moved today. So this is really awesome because I'm filming this today and I get the chance to tell you guys January 26th, 7th, Neptune has moved out of the 6th house. So a lot of things with work are and if there's any illusions or any confusion or any like illusions that maybe even within ourselves had held us back, right? Or like ambiguity at work, like we didn't know what was going on. Neptune has now moved out of there. So now we're seeing things a lot clearer, a lot clearer, right? And the thing I love about Pisces energy is, I find that Libra risings, with Pisces in the 6th house, they could be very optimistic about their work, right? Like either they're going to shoot for the stars, or they may say like, I don't have to do things traditionally. I can do the thing that I really, really, really want to do. Or this is also being like an exceptional employee, an exceptional leader, an exceptional business owner, an exceptional person that's contracted out, right? Like we are extraordinary when we perform for our work. We have something extraordinary about us. And when we have Neptune moving through there could have been confusion between the real world and like our inner desire of, I know that I have these extraordinary skills. What is the path of my work life, or is this it? And this has actually been like a really, really long cycle with work. So, we're going to be just seeing things more clearly, less so about blind faith. And there also can be, with Saturn finishing up here, huge karmic rewards if you've been putting in the time. And also just Saturn moving through Pisces in 2022 till now, we may have gotten really sober about work. Right? We could have gotten very, very sober around, all right, like, am I well? Is the environment that I'm working in healthy for me? Am I checking out at work? Am I working too hard? Am I burning out? Like, what can I do to like enjoy my daily life and like romanticize my daily life? And the amount that I put into myself versus the amount that I put into serving others, or, even putting towards a job. And this, I love it. February 14th, around there, which is really, really soon, there's karmic payouts that are being given to us, right? Where like the karmic balances, or like the karma of Saturn, right? Which is like the scales are going to be set, and then it's going to move into Aries. So imagine your work life, right? For the past since 2022, and the scales have been like, oh my gosh, when we have Saturn, that's like karmically like our biggest lessons, right, in work and responsibility and burnout and productivity and our overall health and wellness, right? And this now, the scales are going to be balancing. So we're probably going to have a way better relationship now with productivity, with burnout, with work environments, with our health, with our wellness, with romanticizing our everyday life, and all the work that we put in, every stress, every worry, every tear shed, if there was any of that within those areas of life. Now the solidification, the consistency, the results are going to speak for themselves. And now we have linearly upgraded in this area of life. We've worked through some big lessons, and I do feel like now it's going to be a lot of dreaming and making our dream lifestyle happen, right? So like it's like the sixth house is kind of like the micro workings, right? So like things we're in charge of, and then the seventh house is kind of like things bigger than ourselves, right? Things bigger than our day-to-day routines. Or now that we make sure our seatbelt is on, let's go ahead and see who else is in our life and what areas we want to live in, and what like social class I want to be in, right? Like integrating it a lot with other bigger external factors, which is cool. But we would have 100% gone through a lot of big major shifts within our work life. And leading into that eclipse on March 3rd, we are now talking about transit number 3. That's like 333. The third transit it is on March 3rd, and it is going to be the full moon eclipse in Virgo. And eclipse season is almost upon us. I don't mean to break your neck saying that, but yeah, eclipses are always really, really exciting, right? It's like there's just a lot of hype around eclipses. We feel it as a collective like so strongly. It's something I feel like a lot of us gather around for, right? And it's a lot emotionally. The nodes are connected to the moon. So that being said, and also Jupiter just hanging out in Cancer, just like bigger emotions, bigger, like just really, really highlighting the emotional body of the collective. With Virgo, this is really cool because Virgo's in your guys' 12th house, opposing your guys' 6th house in Pisces, right? The 12th house is reality starts up here, right? We know that. We've been told by so many people that it all starts with your mentality, right? And if you can dream with your eyes open and like, just dream it and have faith and believe and manifest, right? Like that there's so much happening on an energetic level, mental level, emotional level that shapes our life, our chart, right? That's why it's the 12th. It is the first thing backing up the captain. Captain says, what do I do? Subconscious says, oh yeah, no, this is what you do, right? And then second house is like, someone give me an order of what to do. And then we ask 12th house, and then first house gives the order, and then second house executes it to the best of their ability, right? So when something happens in the 12th house, it's huge. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes we don't always feel all the working mechanics of what's going on, right? We really, really, in order to do that, we really, and you guys actually, as Libra Risings, may be good at hermit mode, introspection, right? Reflection, because Virgo's the area of life where we got 20/20. Unless we have something else there, something a little subconscious, right? Like a moon or like Pluto or like a node, right? Whatever house we have in Virgos where we see 20/20. Now, this is pretty cool because this is like very, very, and Libra risings are like witches, like all of them, because their skills are Scorpio. Their second house is in Scorpio, right? So like there's just going to be on March 3rd, when we have a full moon lunar eclipses bring endings and transformation, right? The once it's the night, the day is gone, right? So this is the moon coming out and officially closing, right? That's when we go to bed, we wake up, and it's a new dawn, a new day, a new light, right? And so this is going to be a season ending. Because it's in Virgo, this is going to deal with those very things, right? Work, productivity, wellness, all relates back to Virgo, right? And, in our daily life, a lot of us work. So this is going to be a major transformation subconsciously, where most likely, because the subconscious is where fear and our desires coexist. That's like the simplest way I can divvy up the 12th house is fear, desire, and it could shift and change those levels, right? But a lot of the times, what we really desire could be there's fear sometimes holding us back, right? Like they go hand in hand, and they're two opposite sides of the scale. It's kind of like 12th house is our heaven. Which one do we want to live in, right? We want to live in fear. We want to live in faith. Do we want to live in letting things consume us, or being able to detach and watch, thoughts and feelings like we acknowledge, but c'est la vie, life goes on, right? And we want to be present. And the more present that we are, the more magical we can pay attention to things and feel and take in, right? And so this could be just an ending and transformation in basically what's really cool is this actually could be us going after what we want more, right? Like what we truly want more. So our desires for what we want in life, like big dreams, right? Like big dreams that start in the imagination, where there's going to be a death of fear, right? And that especially can happen on the outside too. So the eclipse can just bring soul contracts being up. We could meet new people. We could, there's a lot of faded energies for these weeks that there are the eclipses, right? And in ancient tradition, ancient civilization said when an eclipse comes around, right, let what wants to leave, let what wants to come in, come in. And if we are forced to make a decision where you feel that heaviness, that karmic pressure, right, whether that's feeling overwhelmed or anxious or sad or, just kind of like excited for what's possible, like whatever emotion leads us towards, go with what may feel uncomfortable but is soul fulfilling, right? So this is going to be, I think, ourselves giving us the permission to be like, yeah, this could be a reality for me, right? And that could change our daily life. That could change what we're dreaming with our eyes more wide open, right? And if we're have any voice in our head that's like, nah, a critical voice, death, endings and transformation, right? Death and rebirth, right? That is very much eclipses. So I see it as a great thing, right? This is not our first eclipse in Virgo, right? So we're coming back around. She'll be coming around the corner when she comes, right? So yeah, I see this as just a big slate. It honestly too could just be if you feel really, really tired, you could be doing a lot of dream work, which I have always felt intuitively. Here I am saying that this is going to be a shorter video, yet I'm over here intuitively. What I've learned from astrology is the 12th house, those people who have really, really active 12 houses too, mind you, that if things would be too disruptive in reality to take place for us to learn, open our eyes, learn a lesson, realize, then it can happen very much in a dream, right? And then that's the classic, I don't have a prom dress tomorrow, and then you go to sleep and then you dream that you never found a prom dress, and then you work it out, and then when you wake up, sometimes what happens is if we processed that fear and we slayed the fear, then we go out and we're it's been lifted off of us because we've already dreamt of the worst case scenario. That's such a classic dream work example, right? So it could also be happening that way as well. So if you are really tired around the eclipses, you're probably moving through stuff. So it could be a good idea to keep a journal. And again, this is going to, I think unlock what is possible for us, right? And that's going to change And you know what? There is a transit later on where there's a lot of like new life direction opening up. So I have a feeling this is one of those behind the scenes transits that like may not seem like much on the outside, but may perhaps looking back, it's like, wow, that hermit time or like that eclipse was like just the first domino of a long chain. And then we have Jupiter going direct in Cancer. So Jupiter is going to turn direct March 10th, right? So a lot of these planets are going to just start turning direct, and we'll be finishing out a lot of cycles within certain areas of our life. So in the career zone, Libra Risings, because in whole sign you guys have Cancer in your guys' 10th house, we're going to have Jupiter continuing to expand what we're pouring into career-wise forward. This is going to be awesome. So Jupiter gives us external opportunities, opportunities for growth, like meeting the right people at the right time, meeting the right mentors, having the means to take the course, having the means to develop the product. This could also be just when it doesn't have to be external. It's also like an optimism within ourselves and like an ability to see the bigger picture where it's like, all right, this is the move I should make. Like I have the confidence to go after that thing now, right? It just supplies us with a lot of optimism. Like we have a mentor that's like, yeah, yes, do the thing. Let's do it. We're going to figure it out, right? The only way to do it is learn by doing. So if there's literally anything in your career that you want to go after, we have Jupiter in its exalted sign for just a little while longer until June 30th. So from March 10th to June 30th, this is when what we put in will get back out. Jupiter and Saturn are social planets. It is very much what we put out into the universe, and what we put out, we get back, right? And they're really karmically, they like rule over karma in that way, essentially. You know, Jupiter in the way that it's like our life is what we make of it, and Saturn says like, if you put in the work, then you'll see results, right? So life's what we make it by Hannah Montana is coming through. You may want to listen to that song. She's a banger, a bop. And the Hannah Montana revamp is coming. But yes, anything that you want to go after opportunity-wise, you want to expand in your career, you want to work from home, you want to open up that side hustle, you want to take a leap and switch, you want to apply for that course, or, you know, just expand, make more money, let go of a job and like just be free in that way. You want financial independence, you want financial freedom. It'll be a very auspicious time to really utilize that phrase, life is what you make it. And that is saying our career is what we make it, right? Our career is what we make it. And when we are whatever we're gonna water with that Cancerian, Jupiterian touch will grow. The power has accumulated. It's in those last degrees. The last decan of Cancer is Neptune. Dream big. Dream, what is it? Shoot for the moon and you may land upon the stars. You miss 100 of the chances you never take. So that sort of energy. And yeah, and definitely like go for what emotionally is going to satisfy you. Like emotionally what's going to make you like so happy. Like part of Jupiter in Cancer is just like accepting that this is the emotion we want to feel, right? And like going after that, and then that's our life, right? So really good time. And then of course there's more opportunities that could happen. There's more things that could come our way. So yeah, that's going to be really awesome. And also Jupiter in Cancer, like that we're working out sort of like family karma too, you know, generational karma. I don't want to like scare anyone. That's not like the main focus here. It's very much like a cherry on top that typically too, like whatever moves we're making, like we're just leading a different legacy, right? Like it's our legacy with the 10th house in Cancer to go where the fulfillment, go where the soul's calling us, go where we're going to be able to fill other people's cup and have our cup poured into, and really grow and nurture something beautifully, right? So a lot of Libra risings that I know like make great parents, right? Like my dad has a Libra rising, and my dad, always hung out with us, always spent so much time with us, was always there, he really like nurtured us, right? In a lot of ways. And so this definitely, if you're looking to get out of a job and just like expand past that and spend more time with your babies, or spend more time learning about yourself or traveling, or if you've never gotten the opportunity to break free from work, there's a lot of break free energy with Saturn and Neptune leaving the sixth house, and just Cancer, right? And the eclipses happening with Virgo in the 12th house. So, yeah, and just a lot of expansion is going to happen with Uranus moving into Gemini. So, if that applies to you, if that resonates with you, definitely go after it as much as you can. The universe loves when we take a leap, right? So that's what I have there. And then the 5th transit is Uranus entering Gemini. This is going to be happening April 26th. And so April 26th, Uranus moves into Gemini. It is graduating from the 8th house of intimacy and deep soulmates and relationships and investments, right? Like people are investments, right? And stocks and working smarter, not harder, and like the power of privacy and discernment, right? And getting really intimate with ourselves, like the shadow work house, the witchy house, the occult knowledge house, right? Learning the secrets of the universe, like astrology is the 8th house, right? So there just could have been a lot of power that was gained. Now I feel like that a lot of power is gained and we phoenixed. Some of us could have gone through a little bit of a dark night of the soul. I'm not going to lie. Like the 8th house is the haunted house. And if we had like an upgrade in the haunted house, I'm sure that some things would come up where it's like, okay, that's like my Tom scream, by the way. There's only me and a few others in my life who choose to communicate with the reaction of a Tom scream. And by Tom, I mean, yes, the legend Tom from Tom and Jerry. Just pretend that there's a very, very sexy, nice picture of Sir Thomas here. However, Uranus moving out of there and going into the 9th house. So this is huge too, because when we take leaps and we take opportunities, that's what leads us to like get that job, to like apply to run the marathon, right? To like, we're pregnant, to like, wow, like, I can't believe that I get to be president of this thing, right? But the 9th house is where a lot of that just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to apply for the thing. I'm just going to like new horizons, right? It's really like the 9th house reminds me of that energy of, the song, I think it's Michael Bublé. It might be a rendition of an earlier artist, but the song says, it's sun shining high, you know how I feel, and I'm feeling good. That is the 9th house. The 9th house is like the door opening, the plot twist of like, hello, I used to be a Scorpio, I graduated, now I'm feeling good. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new light, right? And it's gonna get the brain going. Let me tell you, I've been telling all the peeps around here a little secret, because I have so many creators as my followers. Like I have so many people that are in the creative fields, and I say this with like as motivation and inspiration that like Uranus entering Gemini, I think one thing that people don't realize is that Uranus is connected to the divine. Like that is how our angels speak to us. Our angels, like Neptune too, like Neptune as well, but Uranus is like the idea, the realization. It's really quick and it's like lightning, right? Like I feel like Neptune is a little bit more like how would I even say this? It's more so like a little less blurred lines, right? Like it's a little bit in fashions that may not always be so direct, but Uranus gives us divine inspiration, divine ideas. And I'd say this is going to be happening. Like the whole collective is going to be anchoring in the ideas that the collective is now ready to experience, because the collective is going to have a huge amount of open-mindedness, right? Like with Uranus and Taurus, it can struggle a little bit in Taurus, right? Like Uranus feels exalted in Scorpio And so it's in its opposite in Taurus, and Uranus also feels good in Aquarius. You know, such like an alien sign, such like an unorthodox sign. And so Uranus really feeds off of this freedom from being like fluid, from like bouncing ideas off like of each other, collaborating, just trying different things. Y'all know how many hobbies a Gemini has? They have the potential to have so many hobbies and so many different thoughts, and, you know, just able to try and express. And so I use this joke that I was watching an interview of Michael Jackson, and he was saying that he woke up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and said, we need to record this song. I got a melody or a rhythm or whatever it was. And he went in there and recorded it because he said, I was afraid God would give the idea to Prince, right? And I just like 100% believe that. And, you know, it just lines up with all the things that Uranus rules over, right? So I'm letting my collective know that I do feel like I'm telling you guys this for a reason. You know, like, you guys are anything, you know, we attracted, you know, each other to this reading. Like, there is just a huge amount of my followers that are creatives, that are like brilliant, right? I think you gotta be smart to like be into astrology. Let's be honest, it's so old, it's so ancient, so there's so much wisdom within it, that if you get an idea, go for it. If you get an idea and you're like, this is brilliant, it is, and someone will need to hear it, right? So that is why I included Uranus and Gemini, kind of just to like hype everybody up. And yeah, and then we have Jupiter in Leo. That's transit number 6. That is going to be happening June 30th. So we have a little over 3 months where we're going to be able to take the risks, risk it for the biscuit with like the Cancer midhaven, right? And like really pour some energy into what we would like with our legacy and our career. And then once that wraps up and all the blessings, you know, have been ringed out with that Cancer Jupiter, then it's going to be moving into our 11th house. Now, the 11th house is the income that we get from our career. It's profits. It is very much like manifestation. It very much is the magic of the results, right? And so, for example, the 10th house is the legacy. We'll use the analogy of someone winning a gold medal for the Olympics for their country, right? To even apply and to learn about how to apply, they went to the 9th house, right? And then the 10th house was they won the gold, right? And they get the feeling of achievement, right? It's the journey of working towards that gold medal, training so hard. And then the 11th house is when we go back to our hometown and then like people want to make a statue and then people want a parade of you and like people are going up to you like, man, like so proud to be from our country. Thanks for representing us. Like, you were awesome. Like, you're an inspiration. Like, my whole family watched you, right? So the 11th house is really the house of praise. And when we have Libra risings, it could feel like we are getting that praise in our career, right? And I'll tell you one thing, ain't nothing wrong with praising, right? Or receiving the praise, right? Because that's us shining our purpose, shining our light. That is us connecting with inspiration and connecting with what's possible. And when that faith and that, you know, feeling good about ourselves and like, you know, watching how we've evolved takes place, it is very, very potent to manifest. It's very, very potent to align our frequency, to like raise our frequency, to like break out of all the 3D stuff, right? Of people saying, you know, because they say like people doubt you before they see the results, right? Once you get to that 11th house of praise, you know, not everyone wants to ride their 4th house, 10th house behind the scenes and while you're doing the work, right? But this is really going to be, I feel like when Libra risings, you're going to get your flowers. It's going to be the beginning of a cycle where we are receiving our flowers. We are taking up space. We are, manifesting, right? Like more opportunities after that, because when you achieve something really big in your legacy, there are other things that like unfold and, you know, that lead to more opportunities, right? You just have like a best-selling song or like an academy performance that like people are just going to talk about, there's going to be more doors that open up for us, right? And on the flip side, you know, if we did something in our legacy and you know, we felt like, man, I feel like I want a little bit of the recognition, right? For like a job well done, or just for the fact that I did it. Like, this is really going to be too where I think, a lot of the, like, very much like a lot of the hard work and a lot of the grind that we just went through with Neptune through our 6th house, like, for so long, and Pluto opposing our legacy point for so long. I'm talking like 15 plus years. There's been like the biggest planets ever going through your guys' career stuff. This is a sweet cycle. And the 11th house is a good karma house. Jupiter is a benefic. Yeah, I almost thought I was gonna slip. I didn't. Just like a great time. I feel like this is gonna be a time where we're having fun. Like, fun comes back. And this could have been a point too of like we were being really, really responsible for many years and just grinding and like burning out, or not sure like what our next move was, like not sure if we made the right decisions, like, you know, the Neptune kind of like the fogginess, right? And Saturn said, come on, like, despite all odds, like, keep going. Like, you've built so much, right? And it's like, I don't want to say that, like, your guys' legacy is, like, done being built, but, like, y'all definitely experience a major transit in this lifetime where it's like, that made you so strong. Now we can reintegrate. Now that our foundation's strong and like our legacy is very strong, now we can integrate some just like fun, some just like doing things for fun and creating and enjoying the profits, right? And kind of letting our vibe be high, right? Like, we've worked a lot towards defining our wellness, and this to me is just 11th, 5th house is just, there is an area of life in astrology that rules over fun, where it's just lightheartedness, like that creativity, birth of children, right? Like our inner child, just fun things that make life beautiful. I think that this is going to be that area of life. And if you do have any planets here, right, like any malefics or anything like that, it's still possible. And it's likely to, like, you'll experience both, right? You could experience like the highs of this, but then also at the same time, anything keeping us back from being fun or lighthearted or like enjoying this, like, sort of like, woo, I'm riding on a high, there's new doors opening up and things like that. That'll get removed with with Jupiter. That'll be just shown to us, right? So we can integrate that, right? And yeah, there's going to be more eclipses throughout the year with Leo and, you know, things like that. I'm not going over those today, but if you guys want to check out my calendar, like I said, I went into that for you guys, so you guys can check that out there. Okay, and then the 7th house, or the the seventh transit is going to be, ooh, this is so fun. This is the Fama asteroid. So transit number 7 is the Fama asteroid. Fama asteroid is a minor asteroid, and it's number 408. And it does rule over fame in astrology. So because so many of my followers are also on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, Tumblr, Threads, all of that, I wanted to mention this. And a lot of you guys are Substack writers, right? Blogs. A lot of my followers are right there, right? Or actors or singers. So if you are a creative, if you are in content, if you are just looking to get more eyes on your work, on work you've already put out, on projects, this is going to be an amazing time. And so Fama asteroid is going to be passing over Cancer from April to July, the beginning of April to the beginning of July, and then it's going to be in Leo from July to September. So quite literally for almost half the year, Fama asteroid is going to be in the very public houses for you guys. And I had to let you know, if you have 10th house placements, I would pay attention to spring/summer. Put out stuff, right? We can align it then too, right? But I also believe that, you know, we're very drawn to what's for us and guided and protected and all those things. And you could just notice like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know Fama asteroid was there and I was receiving attention, right? But it's kind of fun to know beforehand. And so that is the Fama asteroid. And yeah, this is going to be exposure for half the year almost. And then transit number 8 is going to be the Opportunity asteroid. I did type in a lot of career asteroids. These were the 2 that really showed up for you guys. And the Opportunity asteroid is awesome. I've heard Extra Rising, I think, talk about the Opportunity asteroid, but also Shoddy Astrology. She likes to use the minor asteroids a lot like me, a lot like myself, I should say. And the Opportunity asteroid actually is going to be like in Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio this year. So this is what I was talking about in the earlier transit when we were talking about March 3rd and the full lunar eclipse in Virgo, around how it's kind of a more backseat transit because it's in the subconscious house and it's very lunar, and like it may stir things up. Like we may feel it more than we see it, right? Like the results in our life kind of adjusting to the epiphanies or the choices or, the feelings that we're processing, things like that. And the Opportunity asteroid is lining up with that transit. Very cheeky. It's actually passing through Virgo for most of the year. And so the opportunity could come in a dream. The opportunity could come what seems out of nowhere. And what we tell ourselves is going to be linked to our Opportunity asteroid. So let me use an example. Hailey Bieber has Opportunity asteroid in her 12th house. She told herself, and she was saying in an interview that she would tell herself, I'm never going to sell road for less than $1 billion, right? It all starts up here. It all starts with our beliefs. It starts with what we tell ourselves, what we choose to say out loud in like a 10-hour day when we're conscious and awake. That matters. So this is just really, really potent manifestation energy for all the way up until August. It is going to move into Libra. And then when we have Opportunity asteroid that crosses over our rising sign, and again, these asteroids only rule over like one specific thing, right? It's not like a planet where we could spend like a few hours on each planet and, go over everything. I find that like the planets do rule over like basically almost everything, and then the minor asteroids rule over like the very niche aspects within the planets, right? Because at one point the asteroids were a planet, Meldeck, but that's a conversation for a different day. This is the forgotten consciousness of Meldeck, and it's split into a lot of other 25,000 different forms of consciousness that we have recorded in astrology today. But opportunity very much is just that, right? It's an opportunity. Could Hailey have not taken that opportunity? Of course, right? But she did say when she was confronted with the opportunity, which it's in her 12th house, that it was like, whoa, this is real, right? So it went from inside her mind to outside. And so, that's her Opportunity asteroid natally, right? But when we have Opportunity asteroid passing over the 12th house, it's very, very similar, right? So if you have 12th house placements, if you have Virgo placements, you could consciously very much like reprogram the subconscious to allow for opportunities that you would like to manifest. However, when it enters Libra in August, this is going to be when we could have a life opportunity with a different path. Some sort of new beginning. Thought I mentioned that. And then in December, it moves into Scorpio, the second house of money and finances and assets and new skills, right? So I thought that I mentioned that one as well. That's pretty standard. And then last but not least, transit number 9 is going to be Mars in Cancer, right? Mars is going to be in Cancer from August 11th to September 28th. So that could be a time too, whatever area of life we have Mars transiting into is going to be the area of life in which we are pouring the most amount of energy towards naturally. We have the most amount of desire to pour into this area of life. We're going to be able to destroy all obstacles much easier in this area of life than we would if Mars was not transiting through this house. We can feel really vitalized. We could feel very driven. And we can really go towards our deeper passions in this house. So that's going to be your guys' career house. So another date to note for releasing things or like really putting in the effort for things. That is the transits. Let's go ahead and roll the astro dice. So this is going to be important people and just another message specifically for your chart watching. All right, so we have Leo. So Leos could be significant. I have a feeling Leos are going to be part of like the high that we're going to be on, right? Because we talked about that. They also could be like during eclipse season. I would pay attention to the Leo sun moon risings in your life. Or Leo stellium. Don't let the stellium sneak up on you. People be honorary Leos without having a lick of Leo in their personal planets. Then we have Neptune, so Pisces. So Leo and Pisces, right? And these are like the major houses that we were talking about. And then Scorpio. So Leo, Scorpio, and Pisces. If you know anyone with these placements, sun, moon, rising, this could be the person that says, go work from home. This could be the person that's a coworker where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna just go. If you're attracted to that person, like, I'm just gonna go for it. Or it could be that that person's leaving and now the work environment's just chef's kiss. This could be your boss, right? This could be a partner, and then now, you know, you combine resources and you don't have to work, or somebody that you're going to collaborate on a project on, or, you know, an important client. So a few different options there. And then what I see for your additional message is very much like there's going to be a transformation around just having fun and like believing and creating again. And if there is like some hesitancy, it reminds me of like, you know how like sometimes like motorcycle dudes or like even like motorcycle women, it's like when they sit down with like a little baby, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like, and it's kind of like it like softens them. It like transforms like their persona or like their initial energy of like being like the tough one, of being like, you know, all the projection that people put on us, whether we adhere to that or not. It's like, wow, I feel so tender. I feel so soft. I'm like changed today, like seeing that baby, or like that really shifted my mood. That really changed my perspective. That really made me feel good. Or, you know, I think that it's going to be a little bit like that, where if we've had a little bit of like a, whoo, like it could be, oh, and we're just softening. We're having more fun, right? And it could be with Scorpio too. Like we're just, like we're strategic about it too. Actually, that could be where it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I really want a different filming area in my back. I'm gonna go paint. I'm gonna go paint some things to put on my wall, right? So it could also be strategic. Then last but not least, we have a message of guidance. So let's go ahead and pull. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hold the mic. Haha. Hello, my name is Haley Delgado, and I have Uranus in the first house. So when it comes to finding tips and tricks physically to hold things, to drive, to not drop things, even though sometimes what I imagine in my head isn't always what happens in real life, I like to be very experimental when it comes to picking stuff up off the floor with like my feet, or like catching food with my mouth, just because I think that would be fun and very unorthodox of doing, or an orthodox way of doing things. So, all right, little commercials over. This is going to be the deck. It just has a bunch of goddesses and a word underneath it. So let's go ahead and pick one for you guys. My inner thigh strength right now is being tested. Got yours. Oh, and we have Yi. And we say, when it says the sun, we also have 54. So if that's relevant for you guys at all, it reduces down to a 9, which is change. Wait, is that 51 or 54? I read it as 54. It might be 51. Well, initially I thought it was a 4, which is a 9, which is about endings and new beginnings, but also the ninth house of like having fun and like the sun, right? Like we also got the 5th house in the dice, and I just think this is going to be a really creative time for us. And again, if they're like, what I'm seeing is like, you see all of this like expansion around her mind, around her head. Like this to me is like all the ideas, and you see like the orbs of light, like that's reminding me of like the divine. Like you could be a channel to shine through the divine with your ideas, with, and just have fun with it, right? I feel like this is whatever you believe in, this is the synchronicity of a confirmation of to shine like the sun, to allow yourself to sit in the sun. The sun is so healing for us. Like, this could literally be like, when's the last time you like sat out in the sun for like, or was out in the sun for like multiple hours, right? So y'all are the stars. Jupiter activating your 11th house in Leo. I think it's gonna be yeah, I think this is just like the good times coming through. And if you want to look into Yi at all, that's your goddess. So that is everything that I do have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed to the end and you're watching this, put a sparkle emoji. You could also put a flamingo and a sparkle, and I'm gonna comment back. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, take care, and I'll see you guys in a later video.